Hello everyone, I Kanchan Shetty welcome you all again on this platform of KTHM e-learning. In the previous lecture, we have started second chapter of specialized auditing paper 6, that is internal audit. In this chapter, we have discussed the introduction, meaning, definitions, nature and scope of internal audit. Now, in today's lecture, we are going to understand the purpose of internal audit. Then we will discuss the types of internal audit. After that, we will study review of internal audit or internal control, and lastly, we will learn the elements of internal control. Now, let's understand the purpose of internal audit. The purpose or objectives of internal audit are given in the following point. So the first purpose of internal audit is review of accounting system and related internal controls. The establishment of an adequate accounting system and the related controls is the responsibility of management, which demands proper attention on continuous basis. The internal audit function is often assigned specific responsibility by management for review of accounting system and related internal controls. Internal audit function monitors the operations of accounting function and suggests improvement in it. Second purpose is examination for management, financial and operating function. In that, the examination of management of financial and operating information may include review of the means used to identify, measures, classify and report such information, and specific inquiry into individual items, including detailed analysis of transactions, balances and procedure. Next comes is examination of the economy, efficiency and effectiveness of operations, including non-financial controls of an organization. In that, generally the external auditor is interested in the results of such audit work only when it has an important bearing on the reliability of the financial record. And last purpose is physical examination and verification. This examination or verification would generally include examination and verification of physical existence and condition of tangible assets of the organization. Now, let us see the types of internal audit. There are several types of internal audits, namely financial audit, operational audit, management audit, compliance audit, system audit, IS audit and investigation audit. Each audit has different purpose and characteristics. So the first type of internal audit is financial audit. Financial audit focuses on accounting and reporting to financial transactions, including commitments, authorizations and receipt and disbursement of funds. The purpose of this type of audit is to verify that there are significant controls over cash and cash-like assets and that there are adequate process controls over the acquisition and use of resources. Unlike external financial audits, internal financial audits do not prepare or express professional opinions on the fairness of the presentation of financial statement. Then second is operational audit. This audit examines the use of unit resources to evaluate whether those resources are being used in the most effective and efficient manner to fulfill the university's mission and objectives. An operational audit may include elements of the other audit type listed as following, which we are going to discuss. Then next comes is management audit. This type of audit is to review the efficiency or otherwise of all operations and see that the affairs of the company are conducted on healthy lines. Its scope is on the business support activities of a unit or the entire organization. The expected result from this audit is to give opinion on strategic issues and recommendations or solutions. Then next type of audit is compliance audit. This audit reviews adherence to law, regulations, policies and procedures. Examples include federal and state law trustees policies and chancellor office directives. Recommendations typically call for improvements in processes and controls intended to ensure compliance with regulation. Next comes is systems audit. System audits ensures that the rules and procedures as laid down by the company from time to time are properly understood, correctly interpreted and compiled with the personnel concerned. The audit involves verification as to whether each department or unit is maintaining proper records and having a reasonable system of recording receipts, issues, and consumptions of materials and stores, and the system provides the proper allocation of the materials consumed, man hours spent and overhead incurred to the relative jobs. Improvements over the existing procedures need also be suggested whenever necessary. When a change in the system is felt, only general recommendations should be indicated, leaving the detailed system to the concerned departments, units, personnel. Next comes is information system audit. This information system audit examines the internal control environment of automated information processing systems and how people use those systems. IS audits typically or information system audit typically evaluates system input, output and processing controls, backup and recovery plan, system security and computer facility reviews. Information system audit projects can focus on existing systems as well as systems in the development stage. And last type of internal audit is investigation audit. The purpose of investigation audit is in depth into irregularities such as misappropriation of banks' assets or reported fraud or allegations. Its scopes is in the area specified to determine modus operandi. The expected result from this audit is to give conclusion to findings with recommendations to preview or to prevent recurrence. Now let us see the concept review of internal control or the concept of internal control. Friends, internal control system implies the whole system of superintendents employed internally by the management of a legal entity to carry on its business in an orderly and efficient manner. By employing a suitable system of internal control, a firm can keep an automatic check and balance over all its transactions. Internal control includes internal check, internal audit and other devices of control. It assures management of a firm that the information it receives is both reliable and accurate. The system also helps to ensure that the assets are safe and management policies is being followed appropriately. Its efficient working not only guarantees management as to the reliability of accounting information, independent auditors also rely on system of internal control in determining the timing, nature and extent of their audit work. Now let us see the definition of internal control. According to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, the definition is internal control means not only internal check or internal audit, but the whole system of control, financial and otherwise, established by the management in order to carry on the business of the company in an orderly manner, safeguard its assets and secure as far as possible accuracy and reliability of its record. It means the plan of organization and all the coordinate methods and measures adopted within a business to safeguard its assets, check the accuracy and reliability of its accounting data, promote operational efficiency and encourage adherence to prescribed managerial policies. A system of internal control extends beyond those matters which relate directly to the functions of the accounting and financial departments. Now let us see the elements of internal control. An effective system of internal control should have the following some basic elements. So the first is financial and other organizational plans. This may take the form of manuals suitably classified by flow charts. It should specify the various duties and responsibilities of both management and staff, stating the powers of authorization that reside with the various members. This is important as in the event of staff absence or otherwise the correct flow of work and the internal control system could be varied by the wrong implementation of procedure by staff either innocently or willfully. Next element of internal control is competent personnel. Personnel are the most important element of any control system. Personnel means the employee. If the employees are competent and efficient in their assigned work, internal control system can be operated effectively when if some of the other elements of internal control system are absent. Third is division of work. This refers to the procedure of division of work properly among the employees of the organization. Each and every work of the organization should be divided in different stages and should be allocated to the employees in accordance with quality and skills. Next element of internal control is separation of operational responsibility from record keeping. In that, if each department of an organization is being assigned to prepare its own records and reports, there may be a tendency to manipulate results for showing better performance. So in order to ensure reliable records and information, record keeping function is separated from the operational responsibility of the concerned department. Next is separation of the custody of assets from accounting. In that, to protect against misuse of assets and their misappropriation, it is required that the custody of assets and their accounting should be done by separate persons. When a particular person performs both the function, there is a chance of utilizing the organization's assets for his personal interest and adjusting the records to relieve himself from the responsibility of the asset. Next is authorization. Under the internal control system, all the activities must be authorized by a proper authority. The individual or group which can grant either specific or general authority for transactions should hold a position commensurate with the nature and significance of the transactions, and the policy for such authority should be established by top management. And last is managerial supervision and review. In the internal control system should be implemented and maintained in conformity with the environmental changes of the concern or organization. By adopting any specific control system permanently, the extent to which the procedures of flexibility controls have been followed in real practice should be observed and re-examined. So here we are going to stop this session. Thank you.